Hello, everyone.
Hi. Mike, you already know Joe Pelton and Jean Crisafulli.
Buongiorno.
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 And this is Irving. Irving Tiffany is one of our members. And Alberto Cavallo, you know him already?
Alberto, yes.
So I think we are, okay, just 9 o'clock now, so maybe someone else will come.
So Mike, you're in London, right?
I'm in Strasbourg. I'm in France.
Right
on the border.
Yeah, with the ISU, I'm sorry. Oh, not with the ISU. But,
No, I'm not with them, but I'm same city, same region. Yes.
I think we should have many parrots. Maybe he said that he would come.
Oh, I thought you said we'd have many parrots.
Yes, we should have him.
No. Many parrots, like the bird, parrots.
Parrots.
Yeah, I know. They sound like parrots.
Yeah, he was born in Venezuela. He's Hispanic. His origin. Parrots, yes.
It reminds me of a phrase, success has many parents.
Yeah.
But failure can't find a father.
What was the last bit? Sorry, you can't find the father. What was that?
But failure cannot find a father.
Ah, okay, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Other people wanted to come, so they, okay, we will wait maybe 5 or 10 minutes just to be sure that everybody are on board. Okay, someone is coming. Pina. Who is Pina? Hello, Pina. Hello, Pina. Can you hear me?
Looks like her audio connection is failing.
Pina, ci sei? Hello? Oh, this should be Ryozo, I think.
yes.
RZ.
Is his audio working? Ryozo? Not sure we're getting audio for either Pina or Ryozo.
Right.
I'll call him on his cell phone.
I think
He's muted.
he has the muted microphone. I am asking him to unmute.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, we can hear you now.
Morning, Adriano and all you gentlemen.
Hi, Ryozo.
Hey, buongiorno.
Everything fine?
Yes,
Great.
nice to talk to you again.
Okay. Yeah, for me too. Yeah, we are waiting just another 3-4 minutes. Someone else is joining.
Okay. So I wanted to hook up to Zoom to my phone. So I was running around trying to print out some notes and I can't find my phone. So I'm on this computer, which has no video. But since you got a few minutes, I'm going to try to search for my phone.
You can't access the video on your computer.
Not on this one. On the other one, yeah. But that's okay. We got a few minutes, yeah. So
Right.
who are you waiting for?
I don't know who else is coming.
Manuel Perez say he cannot join because he's running late and it's very frustrated. He cannot come. Someone else is coming, Chiara.
I hope you've all read this.
Yeah, I also wrote it.
I know. I was going to say, but have you read it?
Yeah, for sure.
I bought it, but I have one criticism, I guess. The illustrations, the graphs are quite small, difficult to read in my copy.
The font is too small?
Of the charts. But I think I have a smaller version than what Jim just showed.
No, I think the version is
One version.
is the same. Is this one?
Mine is smaller. I bought it from Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon.
Yeah, I bought mine from Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe it just looks, yeah.
No. Yeah, the font, yeah, it could be a little bit bigger.
And wait till you meet this guy. I mean, he's something else.
That's what I gathered.
That's me. Okay. Well, so I think maybe we can start. Yeah, 9:10, therefore I think we can start. So my intention this evening is just to talk about the Congress, what we can do to get it better. And I would like to maybe show you the website that is growing each day. But yeah, now just a moment, I will share the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you receive the image that I sent you with the Earth that I suggested you might?
Yes,
use?
yes, I saw it. It was a very nice picture. But let me say a little bit generic. I wanted to give a strong concept in the homepage, and I think this. Well, I don't know. of course I like it because I make it. I made it,
Yeah.
but I don't know if
You're not biased.
if the other people if the other people like it too, because this concept to connect to plug directly to the sun, I think is quite how can I say stimulating. No,
Although those plugs are huge.
sorry,
The plugs, they're huge.
yes, of course, it's a symbolic thing. It's not. If we have to respect the proportion, we will.
Yeah.
We cannot see the plugs.
Well, yeah, and if they get that close to the sun, they're going to vaporize.
Yes.
The Earth is quite large too.
They're going to land at night.
Well, the sun
On
shrank.
the dark side of the sun.
Somebody just entered.
Someone said they were going to send a mission to the sun, and they said, "But won't you burn up?" It said, "No, we'll land at night."
Oh,
on
Corrinne.
the dark side.
Fantastic. Corrinne is with us. Wonderful. Okay, Corrinne Graham is our treasurer, and she is also helping me very much with my interviews, with our web conferences and so on. And but I think she's muted. Let me see.
Adriano, hi everyone. Hi Adriano. I'm on the road, so I'm just really listening. Thanks for the welcome, and I hope you're all having great conversations right about now. I'm running from one meeting to the next, so just an observer.
Okay, never mind. That's fine. Stay with us. So, okay, of course, I would like very much to have your fresh impressions about this homepage. If it thinks it is intriguing and stimulates people to see the call for papers and to go inside and to go down and read what we are saying about the Congress, what we want to do, etc., etc. So I don't know if you already went through the pages and saw what I have put together. If so, and if you have comments, please go ahead and we can discuss and maybe get to improve something. However, well, I don't know if we have to jump directly inside this, or it is better that I retake something that I already said during our last meeting, but we were very few people the last meeting, therefore it is worth to say it again. So I will start just with the general schedule. We will have the pre-Congress period that is kicking off, already kicked off, because we already had a web conference on space tourism one week ago. And it will end June 2021. Duration 8 months, and I would like to make 12 online webinars or web conferences, as we would prefer to call. Then the Congress will be the last 3 days in June, from June 26 to June 28. The duration will be from 3 to 5 days, because we don't know how many papers will be presented. Therefore, if they cannot fit in one only day, we can have a longer session for the paper presentation, maybe two days instead of one. Then we will have the Civilian Space Development Symposium, the first day, with the accepted papers to be presented, what I was saying now. Each presentation will be held via Zoom and broadcasted worldwide via Facebook. The second day or the third day, according to the duration of the first session, will be a strategy for the space renaissance, where we will discuss the 2 Congress theses, amended and approved. The contributes and recommendations coming from the approved thesis and from Civilian Space Development Symposium will be integrated in the draft final resolution. The 3rd day, we will have the final voting session where we will present the final resolution for approval by the Congress, and the new president and new board will be elected. So this is the structure that I have in mind. And of course, the pre-Congress will be composed by 12 web conferences. Oh, Ryozo was out. Sorry, I didn't see. Hello?
Yes,
Ryozo, we lost you.
I think he was going to call in on his phone, and hopefully he'll be back.
Okay.
I have a general comment or observation after having looked at this a little bit. What I was looking for was something high level. There's several ways to put it, but that would kind of in summation say what the purpose of the
Ryozo, I'm
Yes.
sorry, I can't understand anything because the voice is quite closed, like in a tube, you know?
No, I'm not speaking. Someone else is speaking. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, so okay, maybe is Irving.
Yes.
Irving Tiffany.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to say that I was looking for a purpose for the Congress or goals. Did you hear that?
He's asking for the meeting objective
and goals.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is Corrinne. I think I am not sure. I mean, I've not had an opportunity to really check on the number of posts that have been out there, so I don't want to really talk about stuff that I'm not myself abreast of. But just in general, I mean, I've hosted and facilitated events or been part of planning committee. I think the gentleman who was just speaking was saying, you know, identifying the purpose and so on. Adriano, what you've put forward based on what you've shared and some of what I've heard from you as well, it is doable, but it is also a lot to achieve. So timeline for these become very, very instrumental. What I will say is that's important for us to then break out into subcommittees and start to pool ideas in terms of what this is going to be. For example, one of what I'm part of a committee for the International Energy Conference for Sustainability and Energy. And this is almost like a whole year of planning. And we finally decided what that title is going to be. It's going to be around resiliency. And that's partly because of the things that are happening in terms of the weather pattern with a number of the natural disasters that has happened. And in addition, added the pandemic. So I think that this call should be maybe really, let's just pick apart the things instead of like, you know, then decide the next call where, you know, how long it's going to be, when the abstracts are going to be needed, those will come along. So I think kind of like narrow the focus. What's the purpose, I guess, is a good start. And I think ironing that out so then you can put together the themes or topics that will emerge. Hopefully that makes sense and answers some of the other questions and some of what you're probably asking for as well, Adriano.
Well, so I think it's better to start with the purpose of the Congress, what we want to do with this Congress. So I will read what I wrote because I think it's explanatory in itself. So why are we carrying out this Congress? So I said this is a political Congress. It's not just a parade of presentations, but we want to have from our panelists suggestions and help to shape the best strategy to achieve our shared goals to commence the civilian space development by 2030. Because we are, as I wrote, we are not conducting this Congress to understand whether civilization expansion into outer space is necessary, opportune, and timely. We already know that it is dramatically needed and long overdue. So we are organizing this discussion to explore strategies to help making civilian space development the highest priority for all planet Earth's governments, and to broadly enhance public understanding of and consensus to support this priority. I am following what Greg Marignac said during an interview we had about one and a half months ago. He said the main issue of this age is to make people understanding the extreme urgency of space settlement because the launch window could close sooner than what we expect. Yeah, the launch window, that is the favorable historic period for humanity to start expanding into space, could close under the strokes of the devastating multi-crisis that is jeopardizing our economy and denying the deep foundations of human life, such as freedom to work, to travel, to meet people, to socialize and love. So, being planet Earth under attack by the 5 nights of apocalypse, that is the environmental crisis, the pandemics, economic crash, social issues, resource wars, humanity needs to defend itself from this attack. So our first duty as humanists is to defend civilization and to defeat the forces of apocalypse. To accomplish this, humanity needs brave and noble knights to lead the battle, and space is the first and most important knight on the side of humanity. And okay, this is our 3rd World Congress, and we had 2, one in 2011 and the second in 2016. Each time we learned some important lessons from our partners and friends and members, and we improved our methodologies and conceptual proposals. We want to keep on learning. So we are asking the whole space community to join with us in this Congress and to present their papers, their solutions, and to help us to discuss. We will have, okay.
So,
then please.
So I don't want to hog this conversation. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to jump in because part of what I like to do, or I'm very good at, is trying to just narrow things so we have, we can achieve what you would like to. And I'm someone, this looks very broad, very grand, and I think it needs to be narrowed tremendously. What you just read and from what you have on screen, I'm pulled over, I'm not reading it. It sounds like an abstract for research or for what's being presented. The purpose has to be is like a goal. What is the goal? So maybe identify 3 things and that's it. So it's short and sweet. It's a sentence, not an elaboration of, right? And then the themes in terms of what this abstract that you're reading, then you'd need to then bring out what those topics are that you're going to be asking for, call for papers, if you get what I'm saying.
Sure.
Yes.
Exactly.
So like that's really very simple.
I'm going now to the call for papers, maybe starting from just the titles of the paper abstract submission. So we have 14 topics. One is enabling civilian space development technologies, financing and funding. The second is the immense social benefits of expanding civilization into outer space, because these need to be cleared and spotted and explained and narrated properly. Civilization risk mitigation, space as the main night, defending humanity against apocalypse. Space safety, this is the most important point, one of the most important point, protecting human life and health in space, space debris recovery and reuse, space weather, defense from asteroids. So this is how humans will live in space. That is the important thing.
So Adriano, you don't have to, I mean, if most of us can see, unless there are folks who are calling in that can't see your slide, at least it gives a gauge at where you're asking. So for example, if you say safety is one of the priorities, I think then maybe that's the theme for this conference or symposium that needs to be higher up. The other pieces make sense, but then this is where if you have about 10 of us participating, you then need to build out like subcommittees for each of these or section of these for whatever it is. If it's 2 or 3 people who can take a topic and have that, they develop it, right?
Yeah,
They'll
sure.
work on getting the speakers and so on. So let's kind of, if that is a priority, then that should be something that's highlighted, the bullet, which is number 4 with space safety. I think that is actually, if anything, in terms of a theme, there's 2 things as someone, many of you are probably researchers and possibly entrepreneurs or have had an entrepreneurial hat. You have to make the business of it and it has to make common sense. So it must be as simple as where a high school, not even a high school, maybe an 8th grader can see it, read it, and make sense of it. That's how everything needs to be. So then what I would say is safety would be something that's important to a lot of people because they're looking at it, and if it's something they want to explore, they want to know about safety. Safety is involved in so many aspects of what we do in terms of just overall research and technology or the science of it, right? And within that, you have things that will evolve around, equity and so on. So some of these topics will come out, resiliency or that sort of stuff. Get it? Make sense?
Yeah, sure. Well, in one of these pages, I think I have.
Adriano,
Yes.
I don't see the names again under the participants. I mean, of course, I know Jim, Joe, and you, but the others, there's no names that are flashed on.
Okay. Okay. So we have.
Just verbally tell me who did a gentleman second from the top and a lady, let's see, 5th from the top. So what are their names?
Yes, I will introduce. Just a moment. I will stop sharing by now so I can see the people that's online. So we have Corrinne, as I told before. She is our treasurer, and she also is helping me very much with the interviews that we are making and the web conferences and so on. And I asked her to work with me on the organization of the 12 discussions during the pre-Congress period. Then we have Alberto Cavallo, that I think you already know him because he participated to some of our meetings in the frame of the Global Space Alliance meetings. We have Mike Clanton, who participated too. We have Irving Tiffany, it's another member of SRI. We have Joe Pelton, that's your colleague at Honolulu. And we have Chiara Pace. She's a member of Space Renaissance Italia. And I think with her, there are other 3 or 4 of them because they live together in the south of Italy. Okay, I think I said.
I wanted to just, start with a little background. of how we've been corresponding. So our organization, GSA, was going to link up with SRI, and we both had similar lists, but the lists were a little different, and so we decided to have separate conferences. However, in the process, I did review Adriano's SRI list, and I see this list as very good, and I don't think that there should be any theme that we should focus on or to magnify. But with the list that you have, you're going down, I think that all that has to be addressed in the conference. We have 4 days, so it's more than enough time, I think, to cover. So, Corrinne, with all due respect, I'm sorry, but I just want to be frank and, truthfully express my opinion. I think that that list should be covered, and I think a lot of thought already has gone into it. Not just between correspondence between our organization and Adriano, but Adriano has put a lot of advanced work. I don't know, 2 decades, or I don't know how many decades, but there's a lot of material already out there. It's a matter of getting together all you folks in the SRI side to say, okay, how are we going to organize all these SRI points in the Congress? And that's the purpose of the Congress. So I'd rather not just focus on one thing, but the list that Adriano was going down, I think that should be hit on, every single one, in the 4 days. And that's why I think, I know it was out there, on the screen, but I'd like Adriano, since we're all meeting, to go over that list, even though we've read it. But it's just as a part of this Zoom meeting, because I think that
Go ahead. That's fine. I understand, and we can go through certain things, and we can actually, whatever it is, the majority decides. I do a lot of project management, and have done conferences or different things, maybe not in terms of scale. And I think when all of you, as I've alluded to, I don't know all of your background, I've seen some of the things, is where I know certain things have to be, they have to be stripped down to where it is, then where you get to what it is. I'm not saying none of these are not important or the relevance, or Adriano didn't do a good job of putting this together, or what it needs to be. But I'm looking at what's going on with events all over, and a lot of this is virtual. And regardless if it's 2 days or 3 days, grabbing the attention of what it is that you want to, which is why you then have, typically within any group or structure of anything that's planning, you have subcommittees that then pull the themes that they want together. Themes are things that help to draw and to attract others to the cause. It's not just the scientists or the researchers or the people who are just passionate about this and know that this is a next step. You have to get, go ahead.
I think that you have a lot of work. Everyone on your committee, and Adriano and you, for the nitty gritty, getting down to planning the Congress. And but I'd like to request that in this seminar, in this Zoom meeting, that if we could just go down that list, because I'm familiar with it, but I just want to, since it's kind of like a base for more things that are going to start happening for the Congress. If Adriano can just go over those 12 points, and then from there we can just, I think, have a free flow.
Absolutely, that's fine.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So I found back the point where the very key focus of the Congress are written. So this came out from one of our last discussions, that we have 2 main points in our Congress. One is the cheap access to space. that means fully reusable, safe and comfortable passenger transportation vehicles. And when we say passengers, we mean not astronauts, we say civilians. I also had an exchange, an email exchange with Ryozo about the use of the term civilian that is probably different in Europe and in America. However, when we say civilian, we mean everything that is what is not military and is not trained. So when we say civilian passenger, we mean like the passengers of an airplane, of a normal airline. This is for us the use of the term civilian. And the other point is enabling technologies to stay in space. To date, these are only being addressed on paper. We need people to experiment with artificial gravity and other key technologies that can protect life and health in space. If you see these 2 points, they in some way resume all of the other points, because when we are speaking about, just go back to the hot topics, yes. I think, as I wrote, the discussion with Joe and Jim and Ryozo was very important for me to focus and understand what is the discussion ongoing inside the space community, that it is a bit a confrontation between an old space, when I say old space, I mean traditional aerospace vision. The word old is not a term of judgment or something else. It's just to identify the old aerospace, traditional aerospace people, and the new space. New space is what it came up after 2004 Spaceship One victory on the X Prize. So new space is SpaceX, Blue Origin, and all this new private sector that is running, is pushing to bring privates in space. So these two visions have different understanding of, for instance, a realistic timetable for space settlement. The traditional aerospace think that space settlement is rather distant in the future, because we have to develop the technologies, we have to develop the science research, etc., etc. New space think that space settlement is tomorrow morning to be started. And we think that SpaceX, Elon Musk is demonstrated that this is feasible. Because if as we hope, the Starship will fly next days. I don't know the date that it was scheduled so far, but however, at 15 kilometer altitude, that would be a very important step. And I think SpaceX will run very much to have the very first fully reusable vehicle, because Starship will be fully reusable. Only 2 stages, both are reusable. So this is a very important, and let me say, this sign a difference in the formulation of a realistic timetable for space settlement, because New Space think it's possible to do it earlier than what the traditional aerospace think. Then another point is new technologies versus re-engineering old technologies. So the vision of the new space industry is more pragmatic. They make innovation only when it's really needed. When not needed, they opt for re-engineering all the technologies. And Elon Musk also decided to use steel to build the Starship, because it is far better than composites. Composites are most expensive and less useful. So many other things are more expensive and less useful in the traditional approach. Then we have probably we will have a totally new financial environment after COVID-19. The people of the World Economic Forum of Davos are speaking about a global reset of the world economy. What will this reset mean? We don't know so far, but for sure it will mean that we will have a totally new environment where maybe many things will be worse, but maybe something will be better, because there will be new ways to finance big projects, because finally, maybe some decision makers are going to understand that we need big projects, big infrastructures, big things that are not immediately commerciable on the market, but they are very, very needed. Let's think about the climate change and the rising of the waters and what we can do against that. More than just try to contrast the emissions of carbon oxide and so on. We have to make more. We have to contrast to protect the cities, the coastal cities from the rise of the oceans and so on, and many other things. So how will these kind of big infrastructures be financed? We need something new, and it's time, it's really time, it's overdue to think about. And space could be one of these active strategies against the crisis. So a big discussion, a big counterposition is between reusable and spendable rockets. Elon Musk is demonstrating that reusable rockets are very much more convenient, and they will accelerate the victory over the gravitational wheel. But the traditional aerospace are working on spendable concepts. Even Blue Origin, that's a new space company, but however, it's more backward with respect to SpaceX, because they are developing New Glenn. It is a copy of Falcon 9. It's a 10 years old machine nowadays. Spaceship is the new the Starship is the new machine, and so another very, very hot point is the solar power from space. Some few years ago, it was very much more of fashion, this topic, because I remember we discussed it a lot inside the Space Renaissance about this, and we promoted it and so on. Then it went a little bit, let me say, out of fashion, because it's the only way we can understand this. But to start harnessing space, solar power from space, it would be a very, very important thing to feed Earth, but most of all to feed space infrastructures that are to be built. So I think our Congress should discuss all of these things, and I tried to convey these arguments and these discussions inside our call for papers, and inside the web conferences before the Congress, that are not exactly the same list of the call for papers, but however the arguments are in some way are compatible one each other. So Okay, now the question is, how can we translate these things to our audience in order they feel willing to participate, to submit their papers and to participate to the Congress. This is where our membership should come in, because I am one only person and I'm writing a lot, but then if you don't help me, it will be quite impossible. Okay, I think Irving was trying to say something. Please go.
I'm trying to suggest, imagine that you have a spouse that you have to justify, why are you going to this conference? And what would you tell him or her? I think I would say to save the world, or to save humanity from extinction, or to reduce the risk of extinction of humanity. Then all the other things flow from that.
I have a thought here, and I'm going to use a spin from Hawaii. We get a lot of rainbows out here. And if you look at space exploration and development as providing rainbows of opportunity, moving humankind forward, I sense in some of our discussions it's been sort of either or. Do we focus on improving life on Earth using space technologies, or do we extend humankind out through the solar system for sustainable settlements beyond Earth? And I think it's both. And I think ultimately we need to look at the big picture and say, you know, what makes space exploration and development so attractive? And the more we can appeal to as broad a coalition of individuals worldwide to get support for this initiative, the better chance we'll have of being successful. But again, if you look at the rainbow of opportunities for space exploration and development, applying space technologies to sustain life on Earth, but also to extend life through our humanity through the solar system, and to do so in a way that's maximally beneficial for all residents of planet Earth. And all of them, you know, there are a whole range of perspectives on what space exploration really is and why it's important. But if we can bring this rainbow of opportunities concept together, I think it's a way of unifying various public and private initiatives worldwide in moving space development and exploration forward.
Yes, I think I tried to bring one of our topics that we discussed in our discussion between GSR and SRI, GSA and SRI. In our call for papers, there is a point on international collaboration, working with United Nations and governments of planet Earth to promote civilian space development and to understand how the 17 Sustainable Development Goals of the 2030 Agenda can be achieved. And we are proposing the 18th SDG, because in our opinion, to start the space, civilian space development is the only way to achieve the other 17 goals that will not be achievable in a closed system. Because in a closed system, we only can have a zero-sum economic game, and that will not allow to achieve eliminating the starving, eliminating unemployment, and all the social, the very worth and shareable social points of the SDG. But what we say is that to do all of that, we need more resources, we need more energy, we need more space for development. We need to get rid of the constriction, the cage that is closing us in a on Earth, 8 billion people closed in a cage. The COVID is closing us closing us in our homes, and that is impossible. That is denying the human nature. Human nature is to go to meet people, to work together, to socialize, to love, etc., etc. And if other pandemics like this will come, I think the civilization is wrecked completely, because we will be oppressed in our very human nature. So to go outside is the need to breathe now, to breathe. So this is okay. But Irving asked, why are we making a Congress? We are making a Congress because we need help. We need to bring many people to discuss this priority and to help us to develop a narration to get consensus of the people, because the people don't understand us. Every time I speak with someone outside of the space community, I realize they don't understand us. They say, you want to go outside, but you are crazy. You don't, you see how many problems we have here. And then I have to explain, yes, but if we think about if we are a big family, okay? We are father, mother, and 10 children, and the house is small, and children go everywhere, and the mother is desperate because cannot even clean, because all the children are inside. So to go outside is fundamental in order to let our mother to clean the environment. So that's the point. We have to help her to clean, of course, because we have to do what we can to clean, of course. But in the same time, we have to leave her free a little bit, to leave her a breath that is speaking in the interest of Earth, environment, and nature. Yes, because of course we also have an interest in that. But however, we have to save ourselves. We have to save the human heritage, because we are humanists and we think that 8 billion intelligence are very important. Is our richness, our true richness. Humanity was never so big as a number of intelligent brains. The point is to be able to make all of this intelligence to really collaborate. So Jim, you're right. Of course you're right. We need to join efforts worldwide. Global, yes, globally, of course. And to begin a global...
The rainbow.
Yeah, and to begin a global growth, growth, not round trip. Go to Mars and come back, and maybe come back, maybe, because we don't know if going to Mars tomorrow morning, people will really come back. We cannot.
Well, if Elon Musk goes, he's not coming back. He's going to stay there and build his
They want to stay there, yeah, of course, but. Okay, so we follow Elon because he's doing very good things, but we also are crossing our fingers about what he wants to do because, okay, however, good. So, well, I think maybe the most urgent work to do during next days and weeks will be okay, you will see that our web conferences, our 12 web conferences, of course, we can also change this list. We can add or change something if we think that I forgot some important. For instance, I realized that solar power from space is not included. Just to say, so you want to think. However, the methodology that I propose is to bring together 5 or 6 people for each of these web conferences, to have a panel like we did with Space Touring. We had Patrick Collins, Sam Coniglio, Andreas Bergweiler, Al Globus, and Rino Russo. I already have 2 acceptance for the space safety that are Tommaso Sgobba. I think you, Joe, Jim, and Ryozo, you know him because he's the president of the IAA, the IAAS, yes, the Safety Council.
Right.
And I have Rino Russo again, because Rino Russo was working at Italian, a branch of Italian Space Agency for 20 years, and he was responsible of some very important programs, including better methodologies to re-enter in the atmosphere. So they made several experiments in order to elongate the time of the hot time of the re-entry in the atmosphere in order to make it safer, to navigate during the re-entry in order to get less warm in the belly of the vehicle. Now we are seeing that SpaceX will do in another way. The re-enter of Starship will be while the angle of attack of the shuttle was 40 degrees, and it was considered bad from the point of view of the navigability during the re-enter. So the purpose of Rino Russo was to down the nose in order to permit to navigate during the re-enter. Elon Musk is doing the opposite. He wants to enter the Starship with an angle of attack of 90 degrees and shortening the time from 25 minutes to 15 minutes, the hot point. He says that stainless has a resistance to the warming double with respect to aluminum. Therefore, he thinks that it will be possible to save money and to get a better re-enter. However, okay, this is one of the discussions about the safety of the travel to and from space. Yeah.
Burt Rutan actually developed a whole lot of thoughts of saying that the way that NASA did it was really brute force, and the heating up was really one of the major safety factors. And he was one of the first people who sort of spoke out against the shuttle approach.
Sorry, can you repeat the name? Who is that?
Burt Rutan. He was the one who developed the first the Spaceship One that won the contest for SpaceX for the first prize. Ah,
you mean scale composites?
Yes.
The Burt. Yes. Yes, I was in contact with him a few years ago. Sorry, it was Burt. Don't remember the family name.
Rutan. R-U-T-A.
Rutan. Yes, Burt Rutan. Yes, scale composite. I think we can invite him. Yes. So this is just one of the things we want to discuss in the safety web conference. Of course, we want also discuss the point of the protection against cosmic radiation. We want also, if possible, to know if there are people thinking about artificial gravity, and if something is going on about artificial gravity in NASA or other space agencies or private companies that are trying to develop the enabling technologies. So then, okay, my idea is to have 1 or 2 web conferences per month from now to June. And I already have a list of experts that we can try to involve in these discussions. And I already sent this list to Corrinne, because she will help me to invite these people and to agree with them on the dates and so on. But however, I think one of the things I am asking to our membership and friends is to work on these conferences, helping us to invite people and to put together the panels. And of course, the call for papers will be another challenge, because even when people will submit papers, we will have to read the abstracts and decide who we can accept. And I think many of them will be accepted, because I don't know. But however, we should have committees in order to evaluate the materials we receive and to decide about acceptance. So I think Corrinne was thinking about this kind of things when she said about the committees. Well, sorry, I have to take some water. Just a few seconds.
So, Corrinne? Irving, can you hear me?
Yes.
So how are you involved with the SRI Congress?
I'm just a member. I'm also a member of the National Space Association, or Society, excuse me. I'm also a member of a Mensa special interest group called Global Risk Reduction. Our stated mission, these are all high IQ people, is to identify risks or threats to human extinction and recommend ways to reduce those risks.
Sorry, may I ask to write a few words on the chat, because I am afraid I am missing the suggestions because of the quality of the sound.
Okay.
No, Irving was giving us just his background. So that's what he was talking about right now.
So, okay, we have the chat. If we write something in the chat, then I will take it out and make a minutes of the meeting, and we will not lose anything.
So, you know, I just want to clarify one thing. So I think, so of course, the SRI would have to decide that this is an SRI Congress. So I'd like to ask a question in regards to parameters. So, and whatever those parameters are, then of course we're going to be, if in any way we participate, it will be within those parameters. So my question is, I think Jim was mentioning, and I'm familiar with the SR space philosophies emphasizing the importance of going out to space. And then you have different hues of this rainbow. I think Jim and I were thinking about, there's also another aspect, which is, and before I get to that, let's talk about, and Joe is talking about, you know, how important to improve our Earth situation, and of course, to space exploration. So what Jim was referring to is our thought about, it's called Space to Earth, which is basically to take advantage of the spin-off technologies that we R&D, that we develop for space missions, including electronics miniaturization, scratch resistance lenses, closed loop recycling, battery technology, diffusion technology, especially combining two isotope helium-3, and you get two helium-4 and two hydrogen protons, resulting in generating more energy than you put into it. So these spin-off technologies are really to improve our quality of life on Earth. Now, this is only one hue of the whole. I think it's another part, but the main part again is to go out to space. But what I want to ask you is, because should we not include the spin-off technology aspect? And if we're not going to include it, then we'll just work with focusing on going out to space. I need to know the parameters so that we don't want to send any papers that might address the spin-off technologies that would improve life on Earth, the quality of life on Earth. So it's your call, because this is an SRI Congress. If you don't want to include it, that's fine, and we will be submitting a paper on it.
So, okay, you are maybe speaking about something that it was called technology transfer. Some years ago, we were talking about technology transfer from space to Earth.
Yes.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yes,
I think, why not? We could have some also some discussion about that. Yes, we could have one of our conferences on this point, maybe. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe well, also to have one point in the call for papers to allow people to present. Especially, I think, yes, we could focus on the moon and say how industrialization of the moon will help Earth too, for the improvement of the economy and improvement of life in terms of technology transfer. Why not? This could be a theme. I think
Adriano, I think if you could think about it with SRI, because I don't want to dictate any kind of parameters. So you may want to have an emphasis on going out to space, but I'm just saying, just let Joe, Jim, and I know, and we will follow the parameters that you set for the SRI Congress. So you don't have to answer now. I don't want to put you on the spot, but just think about it and let us know later. But I understand that your main thrust is going out to space, and I'm looking at your list, and that is I think it's a good list to cover during the Congress. It's points that are important to SRI, and this being an SRI Congress. I think that if it's covered, not just voluminously, but with a lot of substance and essence, and that is relevant to our situation, then I think it would be a good 4-day conference. I'm sorry if I pulled you away from that list, because I think it's a good list.
Yeah, thank you. the point is that the list need to be translated, you know, it need to be communicated to the people and to see how we can bring people to work with us on these things. Yes, we have a lot of questions that are interesting to be posed to the people to try to trigger reflection. Science fiction and futurology. Is humanity doing everything it takes to kick off civilization expansion to outer space? Then the point, saving the planet and saving civilization. And a discussion on this philosophical point is also important. Should we really live on the surface of moon and planets or on air structures? The space safety, the new international cooperation, space exploration and space expansion. There are a lot of interesting comparisons to be made between exploration and expansion. Because the two things, so the expansion will require new exploration, but exploration can sustain itself until when economy will allow it, even without expansion. So this is another important discussion we should make. Then, of course, the space law. Sorry. Profitable things to start doing in space before 2030. I mean, in industrial activities. Then greening the solar system. All the chapter about exo-agriculture, exo-farming, the mining, lunar and near asteroids mining, financing the civilian space development. Then another important point is the civil aviation approach to space travel. In Italy, for instance, we are seeing that the ENAC, that is our entity for civil aviation, made an agreement together with the United States parallel entity to develop suborbital and hypersonic travel. So there are a lot of points that the space debris also would deserve a whole discussion on a whole session on space debris. That's very important too. I think it's one of the key points, because in a few years we will have a cage made of iron waste, putting in danger the space navigation. So, okay, I think, well, now the website is there and the things are written. I think there is even too many things. So our goal should be to go mining from the website and involving people to get people to our web conferences and to submit papers for the Congress. I think is not a too much complex thing to do. I believe the suggestion by Corrinne to have several committees, each one composed by the people that are more passionate to one argument, and to start inviting people, discussing with them, and to agree on possible dates to discuss and to go ahead.
Okay. Makes sense.
Okay. So, well, okay, I take this opportunity to say that we have some good news about the Space Renaissance site, and so not the site of the Congress, the Space Renaissance site that I will share now to show you. So the good news is that finally I succeeded to resolve an issue that was concerning me since several months. When you go to the membership registration page, you will see that now we have a normal CAPTCHA by Google. Before that, it was complicated. And sometimes people didn't succeed to write the CAPTCHA text because the graphic was not good. So now we solved it. And another thing we solved is that when we subscribe now, this will be a recurrent yearly payment. I tried to make it before now, and I didn't succeed. But nowadays, I decided to buy the professional version of this form, that is the CP contract with PayPal form, and together with the purchase of this license, they gave me the support. And with the support, I succeeded to make this payment really recurrent. That will mean that if you join today as a member and you pay your 24 euros, next year at the same date, you will be billed for other 24 euros. Of course, all members can stop the payments if they want so. But this will be very much more safe for our association, because we will be having a solid base of money coming in to allow us to pay for the maintenance and all the things that we are paying for. So this is a good thing that I'm very happy of, because now that we are beginning the Congress, maybe we hope that many people will join and become members, and we will have this feature. That's very important. Okay. I don't know is there something else that we can say about the Congress?
Well, I think Corrinne had a good idea about setting up committees, because you have all these different areas, and I know that you and SR have a big job, not just ahead of you. You've been working on this for a while. So how are your committees coming? Have you started to establish a few? I know that there are a lot of, probably at least a dozen committees you would have to set up, but I was wondering how your progress is coming with that, on setting up the committees.
We didn't start it so far, so
yeah.
we have to start, and I'm afraid we will not be many people available for that, and so we can maybe hope to have, I don't know, 2 or 3 committees. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
Of course, it would be better to have 10 committees, but I don't know if we will succeed.
I was looking at your list. I thought maybe, because you had, I think you had a dozen, maybe there were 10. I didn't count, but there were a number of subtopics that you wanted to address. So I thought that's where I thought the committees would come in, but
I have a related question. Is there a committee for the officers nominations?
For
nominations for the officers. You said the election.
Okay, for the president. The president and the board.
At the end of the...
Yes, this is a good point too. Yes, because I would like very much to not be for the third time the president. I would like very much someone else to take this responsibility, and I will of course ask for candidates for the presidency.
Well, I think it's easier if you set up a nominating committee, if there are people who are willing to do that, who know the membership well.
Yes.
So that was just a thought when we were talking about committees, whether to have a nominating committee.
Yes. Okay. I took a note for that. It's a very important point. Thank you, Joe.
So I need to run, but I thought this was a very useful discussion.
Just before you go, Joe, and I guess if you're going to wrap up, Adriano, this is Corrinne again, Dr. Graham. I think if there are things that are on the list that Adriano went through that folks are interested in, then, you know, let Adriano know, and then we can go from there, because part of what will happen in, for example, what you would say for a session can have 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 tracks, depending on if you're giving each presenter maybe 20 minutes, 15 minutes to present, 5 minutes for Q&A sort of thing, right? Then those are where the other subtopics come into play. So I think if we can have folks volunteer for areas when they look at their schedule to see if there is a committee that they would like, or a topic that they would like to work on, that would be a good starting point, I guess, going forward as we prepare for this Congress, if that makes sense. And similarly, if folks are interested in being a part of that committee to, you know, for the president or for the board, offer those, you know, volunteer, and then we'll talk more about it. I don't know if that's useful.
Yes, I would be grateful to you if you can just summarize in few words in the chat window your proposal, Corrinne, so we have it for the minutes. Can you do it, or you are on your phone outside home, maybe?
Yeah, I was saying, yes, I'm outside. I'm going to try and type it in. It's not one of my strong suits, so I'll try and get it in as best as I can.
Oh, okay, fine, good. Alberto, do you have something?
Yes, I was just going to ask for an update. How is Ryan doing? I'm just curious. Is Ryan, do you have an update on Ryan at all?
I'm in a meeting. I'm sorry.
Adriano, I was asking, do you have an update on Ryan? How is his health?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I was missing some words. Yeah, Ryan is very much better. He seems that he's making progress more than expected. This is the last news I had by his daughter, Mika, maybe 1 week ago or 10 days ago. And so he is in the, you know, rehabilitation stage. And they say he is good. He started to move the right side, right leg and the arm that were paralyzed before, and also with the ability to speak and everything seems is going well. Yeah. So however, I will ask Mika for more updates tomorrow, and then we can share.
Thank you for the update, Adriano. Thank you. I'm glad Ryan is doing well. For those that don't know, Ryan had a stroke, I think, about a year ago now, or earlier this year. Can't remember. So he was really active, and he was an inspiration. He knew a lot of stuff. He was
yes,
really,
yeah, no. He was at the source of all the reorganization of SRI that we made this year. The website and a lot of things were reorganized upon his suggestions and advices. And then, yes, when he had the stroke, it was really a very, very bad thing for him, but for us too, because we're missing him as a friend and as a volunteer also. Yes, we are missing very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
For everyone who's still on the call, this is Corrinne. I know from time to time, Adriano knows this well because we've been working to collaborating for some time now. I'm very, I guess, what's a word that I want to use in Adriano? I'm very, I have a management accounting background, which probably accounts for me wanting to just go straight to the heart of everything that needs to be done and just kind of streamline so that we're sort of as on track as possible, and then leave ways for other things to happen, like some of the things. So I typically, if I seem as if I'm, I don't mean to be interrupting others, is just usually I know what the end product needs to be and how it ought to look. And therefore I try to get everyone to start thinking in that mindset so that we can move forward going as we we make progress. So I don't mean to be sound like, maybe too calculated or a little bit rude if I come across that way to anyone.
This is Michael Clanton. Thanks, Corrinne. Adriano, did you understand what Corrinne was saying? Did you follow?
Yes, more or less. Yes, but she also is writing something, so it will be very helpful. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Corrinne, the things you were sharing were really valuable, and again, I'm kind of a fish out of water with this, but it's nice to hear some insight in this, and it's good to hear the dialogue. So it was fine on my end. So.
Okay, good, thanks.
Good. Someone else? Alberto, you have something to add?
No, I don't think I have anything to add now. There are already too many things on the table.
Okay, okay. And sorry, I see Roberto on here on the panel, but he never spoke. So Roberto, maybe you want to add something? No.
No, I am not. I have not. Adriano?
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Hello. No, I don't have anything.
Okay, fine. So, well, I think we can maybe close this meeting. Thank you very much for everybody for participating.
Thank you for organizing, Adriano, and look forward to taking up whenever you next convene.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good week.
I think we will have a new meeting when we will have something more for the web conferences, for the invitations and so on. So maybe in 1 month or even before if needed. However, we will stay in touch with the Google groups and the WhatsApp group too. And I will share the video recording of this meeting today morning, so that everybody can see it and we can pay more attention to all the proposals that were made and to translate them in action items. Ok?
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Fine.
Grazie mille.
Grazie, grazie a voi. Ad astra.
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci.
Thank you, everyone.